Now, it's hard enough to get a test drive in any Grand Prix car, but to get a drive in a factory Formula 1 Ferrari is nigh on impossible. But we were the first television company in the entire world to do just that.
This is the car that Alain Prost drove in the 1990 World Championship. But tonight, Alain Prost isn't behind the wheel. Tiff is.
Tiff. Now, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Jeremy, you forget I've been a Grand Prix driver. OK, it was a few years ago,
This is my point exactly, Tiff. This is semi-automatic, this car.
But Jeremy, it's even easier nowadays. Look, you just have these little paddles, you up on the right, down on the left. I've been practising it all the way here on the aeroplane, up on the right, down on the left. You could do it.
Do you fit all right?
Fit? I came here to Italy especially 2 weeks ago. I've had my own seat made. I fit like a glove.
Well, all right then. Drive carefully.
Don't be ridiculous.
I just don't believe this is happening. I am in Alain Prost's 1990 World Championship winning Grand Prix Ferrari. Ferrari don't let people drive their cars. It just doesn't happen. What a bit of oversteer there. And when you just lift off in a car like that, oh, it feels like someone's put the brakes on. The aerodynamic downforce grabs the car back. Then if you use the brakes, the thing will stop so quick you hardly have time to change down the gears. Steering is quite light, so responsive. But listen to that V12 chiming in. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And up now to 12,000 revs in seventh gear. Streaming down the straight. Oh, down the braking point this corner. Brake. Oh. The gearbox is so good. The steering's so precise. You become very much one with the car. So you can feel its every move through your back, through the steering wheel. Feel those tires gripping, slipping, gripping. Feel the power chiming in. Oh, yes!
Mind you, the day wasn't without its frustrations.
Can you hear the misfire? The problem is not, I cannot use full throttle, that's the problem.
Thoroughbred stallions need constant attention, and this one hadn't been run for over 4 years. But in the end, all was well, and was I happy.
The light there, bit of a twitch, trying to feed the power in. Easy to oversteer the cars in the slow speed corners, but of course in the higher speed, when the aerodynamics really come into the equation, then they grip like glue. Well, I'm just beginning to get a feel for this machine. I'm still nowhere near the braking point, streaming down this very seventh gear, probably 180 miles an hour. The curve in, I go down to 6 and a throttle, and all of a sudden, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pick up the throttle, feed it in. I can feel it understeering, then I've hit a cone there. Oh, understeer wide now, feed the yes, 3. Hit the left. The puff comes up. Oh, a bit of a slide there. This, I can get carried away with.
All in all, it was an incredible experience. But we weren't in Italy just for a bit of Formula 1 fun, because Ferrari have now made a Grand Prix car for the road.
And here it is. The Ferrari F50. By no means the prettiest car ever to emerge from the Pininfarina styling studio, but on this occasion the skin is less important than the heart. That V12 engine is basically the same as the one in Tiff's car. It's bolted directly to the bulkhead, so it becomes an integral part of the chassis. They've even mounted the rear suspension to the gearbox. The tub is made from carbon fibre, 10 times stronger than steel, but so light I could pick it up with one hand. And it's the same story with the body. You can even see the weave of the carbon fibre through the paint. Then there's the suspension. In all cars there are rubber components to make the ride more comfortable, but you won't find them in a Grand Prix car, so you won't find them in here either. I'm sorry to have been so technical, but it's important you know why this car can do what it does. Even at this speed, a McLaren would have steamship body roll, but the F50 stays as flat as a mill pond through the corners. If you take it to the raggedy edges of the handling envelope, if you try to corner like Schumacher, there will be understeer. But for mortal man, it's the ever-present threat of sudden snap oversteer that loosens the bowels.
Because there's no rubber in the suspension, bang, you turn the wheel, and it's just incredible. I know of no car that turns into a corner like this one. Nothing.
This is part of the reason. Those fans not only cool the engine, but also suck the front of the car down, giving more downforce, more grip, and therefore less chance of becoming a human fireball.
Not that there's an awful lot to burn in here. I've no carpets, I've no nothing. £329,000, that's what this car costs, so naturally you would expect a little gimmick, a little novelty, and here it is. You turn this lever and the window goes up. Turn it the other way and it goes down. Very clever. Of course, the point is electric windows add weight, and this car has been pared to the bone.
Except, of course, for the engine, which, following traffic, gets to gulp at. Briefly. When you hit the throttle in the F50, it's like pressing the plunger on a detonator. It explodes from 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and the top speed is a simply enormous 202 miles an hour.
Oh my God! Beyond 5,000 RPM, it's just astonishing! It's part Wheelwolf, part Pavarotti. You just have to keep stirring this gear lever to keep it up there. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
But before I burst with excitement, there is one question that needs answering. How does it stack up to Tiff's car? The F1 car wins, of course, but you'd be amazed at how close the F50 gets. Right up to 160 miles an hour. There really isn't that much in it. Of course, unlike the F1 car, the F50 has to meet noise and emission regulations. It's limited to 8,500 RPM. They've taken the engine up to 4.7 litres in a semi-successful quest for torque. Ferrari's dream of making a road-going Grand Prix car has been dogged by compromises.
The end result is a car of few superlatives. An Aston Martin Vantage is more powerful, a McLaren is a lot faster. And if you look at the intelligent question of power to weight ratios, this is even beaten by the old F40.
What on earth is happening here? A 500 horsepower Ferrari? And Clarkson is not convinced.
People are going to buy this car, they're going to put it in museums, they're going to put it in garages, and they'll trail it once in a while to a car show. Come to think of it, I can't really blame them.
And that is my main concern. I love it to death, but it's too fast, it corners too quickly, and there's no warning of impending doom. Or perhaps I'm not a good enough driver for it. This blood-red monster, I know, would end up giving me the blues.
Give me the choice between this and the cheaper, less impressive, less awe-inspiring 355. And I'd take a 355 every time.
And that way, I'd stay alive.